Or a younger person with autism. But doctors say more adults are just now finding out they have autism.
I met with one Omaha woman who wasn't diagnosed until her early 30s, and I talked to a UNMC doctor who explains what's behind the increase.
Since Precious Leslie was younger, she's always felt different from the rest of her peers.
I could tell that I seem to perceive the world around me, especially social situations, very differently. Things that seem to come natural to my peers seem to take a lot of practice and scripting on my part.
That needing to practice to fit in socially continued into her adulthood. The combination of that and a number of other symptoms led Leslie to seek help.
I was diagnosed as bipolar, I believe as bipolar 2, and for 4 years was given a multitude of different medications and different combinations.
Those medications did not help. Eventually, Leslie found a different doctor who diagnosed her with autism.
And she used the assessment diagnosis tool and then several other tools where she was measuring different traits that would be impacted by being autistic, and then having lots of one-on-one, essentially therapy sessions.
That was around 8 years ago, and Leslie says finding those answers changed her life for the better.
It led me on this path of really understanding my own neurology and how my brain works and learning to better work with it.
And more adults are finding themselves on that same path, according to Dr. Lisa Knightsky, a licensed psychologist at UNMC's Monroe-Meyer Institute. Her research shows there's been an increase in adults with diagnosed autism since the early 2000s.
So one of the reasons is that we just have better diagnostic tools now. So maybe if we have older adults that are in their 40s, 50s, 60s, when they were children, when autism is normally diagnosed, we just didn't have the tools available. We didn't know enough about autism.
Knightsky also points to more of society being exposed to autism through social media, TV shows, and movies.
There's a lot more awareness, so people might say, hey, that looks kind of like me. Maybe I should seek an evaluation.
The board-certified behavior analyst says there is specific criteria she looks for when it comes to diagnosing adults. Developmental history and struggling with nonverbal cues in social settings are just two of the things she looks at.
It doesn't manifest in an adult. So an adult doesn't all of a sudden have autism that they didn't have before. It's just that they're more aware of it, or they're made aware of it.
Leslie now devotes her time to educating others about autism in adults. She's the founder of a consulting firm called Loud Nerd.
We focus on providing diversity, equity, inclusion, and accessibility consulting services, branding and marketing with a focus on neurodiversity.
Leslie hopes to break down misconceptions when it comes to autism and wants people to know that it does not look the same for everyone.
If you've met one autistic person, you've met one autistic person.
Dr. Knightsky says women are diagnosed with autism less frequently than men, but as you saw with Leslie, there are plenty of women on the spectrum too. Nebraska Medicine has an article that goes more in depth on the signs of autism in adults. We have a link to that in this story on KETV.com.